I see you trying to defend her. That's a good move, by the way, but let me tell you what happens next. If she can't paint you as a deadbeat dad, which you're not, I'm going to warn you this. The next step is for her to say you were abusive. I want to be very clear. And she just tried, yo, why is my baby dad doing that? And I don't approve of it. And nobody bit. And unless you about to get back with her and go into whatever regime she wants you to get down with, her next attempt will not be as fluky. Women like this don't stop. You've dodged this one, but you got to wait for the bigger one she about to do. Somebody said, Hallie not motherfucking evil? You fucking stupid as hell, nigga. She would have never posted this nigga if she wasn't on that type of topic. Women are only loyal to their emotions.
What's poppin', y'all? Oh, man, oh, man. It's actually interesting that academics predicted the outcome of this situation. And this all came out recently. DDG's been having on a tear, but we'll get into that. We'll get right into it. DDG recently, it just came out the other night that Halle Bailey claimed DDG attacked her multiple times and gets a restraining order against him, which means that he can't stay anywhere near 100 feet of her. And this was put through TMZ. So just starting off, let's make the connection there. TMZ put out a lot of stuff about the Tory Lanez updates. They got the exclusives. Tory Lanez, he was against Megan Thee Stallion. That whole situation, Megan Thee Stallion, was being managed by Roc Nation. Roc Nation, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. In this scenario, Halle Bailey, Chloe Bailey, they're under Beyonce. I think it was Ivy Park. I'm not entirely sure, but they were supposed to follow up underneath Beyonce. Beyonce, Roc Nation, Jay-Z, Beyonce. Now, this doesn't take away from anything Halle Bailey said, but we're just putting forward why this ended up on TMZ first of all places. Not social media, not anything else, TMZ. It says, Halle Bailey says she's had enough of DDG allegedly abusing her. She's filed a police report, and now she wants court-ordered protection from the father of her child. In docs filed Tuesday in LA, she claims things first got physical in January. They broke up back in October. Keep in mind, so they already broke up in October of 2024. In January, they're broken up. So what would lead to, and keep in mind, DDG moved on. I wouldn't say quickly, but I'm hard-pressed to believe that a couple of months later, DDG was so enamored in love with her that he needed her and something was going to happen. This likely had to do something with the kid. She claims things first got physical in January. So she's saying that they were not physical, or we can presume it is a bit of a leap, I guess you could say, to assume here that she didn't say that it was abusive at all while they were together, which is interesting. And Halle says DDG came over to pick up their son Halo, and she tried to start a convo with the rapper about a child visitation schedule. As she was buckling Halo into the car seat is in the back of the car, she claims DDG grew agitated and repeatedly said, "Get out of my car, bitch." Halle says the baby was crying, and she got nervous about DDG leaving with him in such an agitated state. Baby's always crying. But yeah, if they are yelling back and forth, it is what it is. That's when they allegedly started wrestling. Okay. With DDG pulling her hair, slamming her face on his steering wheel, and chipping her tooth. Now, does that mean both? This is where it looks odd to me, because a car's got four windows, 4 doors. The steering wheel is in the front. So for DDG, so her door is going to be open. So let's say it's on the same side as the steering wheel. That's where we're going to assume this is happening. Same side as the steering wheel. If he pulls her out, that means he's got to pull her out of the door. The door to the steering wheel has to be open too. And he has to make this maneuver to push her into the front seat and then do that. I'm not saying that this didn't happen. I'm just wondering how the maneuver was. Now, I could understand if it was the back seat of the driver's seat, yeah, or maybe her hitting the side of the car, but the steering wheel is a little bit odd. And then she says chipping her tooth. Now, the steering wheel is hard enough to actually chip a tooth. So I will say that for certain. And it says, Halle says she was in pain and crying. Although that stopped the fighting, she was still worried about Halo. So she remained in the car for the ride over to DDG's house, where she told his family what happened. So she hopped in the whip right after that. And if she was at home, that's a different story. Where I've got different perspectives depending on whether or not she was home. But then she shows this photo of a chipped tooth, which sent the internet on a rampage, mainly DDG fans, mainly Academics TV, the page that is run by Grand Wizard. Academics, we could say Academics' right-hand man. I would say Lil Boom used to be Ac's right-hand man before that whole event. But Academics TV has taken on the mantle of defense attorney for DDG. And he goes on, a bunch of other people go on to say, well, no, she actually had a chipped tooth years ago. This is before the event, and she had a chipped tooth. Man, I am not going to go into that. I'm just going to take this at face value and say that she got a chipped tooth from this event. That's what I'm going to say, man. I'm not that people are getting autistic about this. And I don't know what information is real or not. I think she got a chipped tooth from this situation. What I believe happened in this situation is that he was trying to tell her, like, hey, maybe she wanted to force herself and come with him, and he didn't want her to come. And she starts wrestling. I think she tries to hit DDG. He tries to hold her back because she posts pictures of these bruises. And it looks like bruises of someone holding you, not someone like blunt force on you. So I think he's trying to hold her back from like maybe hitting him or scratching him or something like that. And then it turns into this, her tooth chips. So I genuinely believe that actually happened. Hey, I might be wrong. Once they told her they'd take care of the baby, she left hysterical and with bruises on her arms to go along with her chipped tooth. She attached photos of her alleged injuries in the request for a restraining order. And then she also alleges DDG creeped her out. Okay. In March, when he showed up at her home, entered without permission, went to her bedroom and texted a pic of Hallie's empty bed to her along with the text, "Now I know what you've been on, LOL." Hallie says she interpreted the text as DDG accusing her of having with other people. This is an odd one. 4 days later, she claims he really exploded when he came back to her house. Hallie told him she and the baby were sick and she didn't want Halo to leave the home. Remember, this panned out on social media, this situation. And she claims that's when he got verbally abusive, smashed her Ring camera, and ran away with Hallie's phone. As he drove off, she claims DDG threw the phone out his window and yelled to her, "Go get it, beat." The incident prompted Hallie to go file a police report, and she says she also has a Ring footage to back up her side of the story. So this is the thing. A lot of people are trying to come at her and say she's lying and this and that. And I do think this is a very calculated, cunning, conniving individual. And I do think there are other parties and interests aligned with making sure that her image stays clean and looks good. And they're willing to take down DDG to do it. So this instance where he took the phone and then tossed it outside, I believe that happened. And if there's Ring camera footage, we're probably going to see it. But when we look a little bit more into the information, in particular, when we look at the text, when DDG came to drop off his kid, you see the text right here. And the text say, this is clearly, it says BD, so DDG is on the left. Daryl Granberry. "Me and Halo is at the front door. Can you answer? If you're not home, just say that." So this is DDG. And he is telling her that him and their son are at the front door. Is DDG just going to randomly pull up? And he notifies her. It's not like he just walks in. And then I guess he walks in. Maybe he has a key. Keep in mind, this woman lives in either a gated neighborhood or she's making sure she's locking her doors. They're in L.A. You don't just leave your doors open in L.A. I mean, maybe if you're in a gated neighborhood, but even then. So he's able to get in. It's not like he creeped her out. And then he takes a photo and says, "Now I know what you've been on, LOL. You can pick Halo up from George. I have to go to work." So there was likely communication before this that we don't have. And I'm willing to presume that he had to go to stream and he just dropped the kid off. Now he put this is the thing. And this is where you need to look at the narratives. It says, this isn't even part of like the actual, it says he creeped her out. Like they're putting that. TMZ is putting that in the article. You got to be very intentional with how people write things. TMZ is a little bit better at it. Like when you look at Academics TV, you're clearly like, okay, this guy definitely believes DDG is innocent and does not like Halle Bailey. But when you read it on TMZ, there are subtle indicators that they may just enter your subconscious if you're not aware of them. Like this creeped her out thing. This is different from the actual information that they deliver, which is, okay, allegations of he hit her. They're saying this happened. And you're like, okay, but he showed up at her home, entered without permission. Well, what was he going to do? Just hold on to the kid? He needed to go to work. So he was going to drop off the kid, and there was likely communication before or after that. But we don't get context of that. Moving forward, there was the Brent Faiyaz situation, which really took the social media on a tear. And this is where I didn't know what happened because I don't know what to believe, man. Like, there's so much fake information. And they were saying the whole story was that Halle Bailey's been seeing Brent Faiyaz. I think that's a fact. And they're saying that Halle Bailey and Brent Faiyaz went outside of the country together to St. Lucia, Antigua, Barbados, some island, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Bart's. I don't know, bro. I've never been to any of them. And I'm not going to say I'm not interested in going. Like, shout out my Islanders. It's just, yeah, it seems like Americans love going to those islands. So they're out there, allegedly, and then he sends some texts over. And this is where my initial thoughts of, okay, maybe DDG, remember when I said, okay, it was January, I have a hard time that DDG's like still enamored with her or attached to her? Well, he sends her to some, I may be wrong in that, he sends her some texts where the post, and this is funny, this is from Academics TV, but he says, this foul bet. And then it says, pretty much confirms the Halle Bailey Brent Faiyaz rumors. Keeping Halo away from DDG while Brent playing stepdad in St. Lucia is nasty work. At Academics, and then they have a photo of Brent Faiyaz at an island. I don't know if that's St. Lucia as well. So here, I think DDG's sending a message here like, oh, yo, you wouldn't even let me take my kid to Kai Cenat or to stream with him. I've never been able to take him out the country. It would have been great content for him to take his kid out to Japan. Now, my personal thoughts, do I think like kids that young should be taken across the world and just hopping them on planes and disturbing my peace if that baby is crying? No. Oh, man. No, I don't think they should. I think it's more stable for the kid to just like, be at home, maybe in a certain place. But she's taking the kid on a plane anyway, which is probably like 5-6 hour flight because she's going from LA to all the way to these islands. And then he goes on to say, you think you hurting my feelings when you're really just ruining your own image. This is a terrible look. Makes you look disgusting and evil. Enjoy your vacation. Happy Mother's Day. But just have the same energy when it's my turn to have him. I'm on the same ish. And you see here, he's not really upset that she's with Brent Faiyaz. He's just saying that this doesn't look good for you, and you're not allowing me to see my kid. So still, it doesn't come across that DDG is upset that she's with a new man. And then it says that she replied, not with any man out here. I wouldn't do that. I have Halo. Please let me enjoy my Mother's Day in peace. I hope you are okay and feel better soon. And then this turned into a social media firestorm when she was out there on the islands. So everyone's like going in on her and they're like, yo, what's going on? Like I can't believe she's doing this. She's with Brent Faiyaz and he's playing stepdaddy to DDG's kid? Nah, that's crazy. Well, then we get this. And Halle Bailey also talked about a photo that was deleted from Chloe Bailey's Instagram. And this just shows you how devious this woman is. So I'm going to play you guys that clip where she's talking about her appearance.
Right now, currently, I am a little bit thicker than I usually am. And I don't really know, I feel really insecure about it a little bit because all my life I've been like 120 pounds, really skinny, and then I had my baby, and then when I was breastfeeding, I lost a bunch of weight. So I felt like my body sort of snapped back to where I thought it did at the time, but it still was very off. And then now that I'm 25, I just feel myself like, oh, weight is sticking more, like, okay. And I haven't had a lot of time. This is my first time I'm taking a break. Like being on this vacation with my sister. This is my first time I'm like taking a break from film. I was filming every day and being a mom to Halo every day. I didn't have time anywhere between being on set and being with Halo to work out. So I'm a little fluffy right now because I kind of fell off of my consistent workouts. But I do feel a little insecure about it. And yesterday, me and Chloe, we were on the beach and we made like a fun TikTok, and I got really insecure about it after. And I had texted her and asked her like, hey, can you just take it down because I feel really bad about my body. And yeah, so people are asking like, why is it deleted? It's because of me. I was insecure about it and what people were saying about my body and what I don't know, I get in my head about stuff like that. But then today I'm like, I'm gonna feel better about myself. I'm not gonna be too hard on myself because I've been working on this really cool fucking job that I just finished. Guys, I had a really great experience in New York. And now now I'm on vacation with my sister and we're celebrating and we're with my baby. We're having like a good time and I'm not gonna be so hard on myself. So my message of today is, I'm telling this to myself, is to just enjoy the moment and not be too hard on yourself and let yourself live a little and have some fun.
This is impressive from Halle Bailey because she is able to consistently come across, keep in mind, she played The Little Mermaid. She was a Disney star. She's a singer. She's so soft-spoken. Even here, she's like, yeah, you know, like I'm not really too, like my body. It's like after having a kid. This spikes the emotion of a lot of the female audience, which is the audience that she's going to need to defend her. Because the last time when DDG and her got into it publicly, they were on his side. And they were saying like, yo, why don't you just let the guy see his kid? Like, he's not doing anything wrong. He's not exhibiting any jealous behavior, toxic behavior. He just wants to see his kid, and you're holding him back from that? That doesn't add up. She clearly cannot deal with that. But behind the scenes, we don't know what she's like. But she has that image. And that image is being wrecked by this potential Brent Faiyaz situation, by DDG looking like a good guy. And keep in mind, at the same time, DDG is scorching hot right now. DDG just had his album sell 11K first week. I talked about it. You should check out in the pinned comment where I talk about like how successful of a rollout that was. He said he sold 1,230 copies, but he sold a lot more than that. This album performed in first week just as good as his first album, Die for Respect, which was his debut with the major record label. And this time the record label didn't put much push behind him, didn't put any playlisting behind him. He didn't have a hit on it that had motion, for lack of a better word. And he was still able to do that. So he's also been streaming like crazy, like 50-something days straight. And people love DDG again. And people are being more favorable towards him as well. Them being more favorable towards him, everything not looking too good on her end, and people liking DDG more too. That doesn't look too hot. So a couple of people responded to this situation. The initial one being Academics, who predicted this whole thing a couple of months ago. And he had the following to say.
Halle claims DDG... Oh, boy. If they can't win the public narrative, they make the accusations. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Halle Bailey claims DDG attacked her multiple times, gets restraining order. Oh, my God. Halle says she's had enough of DDG allegedly abusing her. She filed a police report and now wants a court order to protect her from the father of her child. In documents, she claims things first got physical in January. They broke up back in October. Halle claims that DDG came over to pick up their son, Halo, and she tried to start a convo with the rapper about the visitation schedule. Again, I keep telling you, all these women, something happened, they run to the bathroom, they take pictures, and they keep it in the tuck.
And this really does put the public narrative back on her side because, and this is where it's evil and nefarious if this is not true, because a lot of women have actually gone through situations like this. So they're emotionally jumping towards Halle Bailey's side, where it doesn't look good for DDG on that end. But this happened whilst DDG was on stream with Aiden Ross. So she already had the restraining order, but the TMZ article drops while they're on stream together. Now, there are no coincidences, guys. So you get a live reaction from him and Aiden Ross to the news. So I'm going to run you guys that clip right now.
All right, I'm looking at her story now. What? Oh, fuck. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. Don't even.
That can't even be real.
Fuck all that, bro. Fuck all that.
But that can't even be real.
But,
that's the thing.
But don't even. But you remember we talked about last night? Fuck all that. Let me say something. It's not.
No, I'm saying, but I don't know where that even came from.
Yo, stop these fake allegations. This is a father. This is a real person. It's a good human being.
Even, but I don't.
But hey, bro, we on stream, bro.
Come on, like I gotta be.
Just don't do it, bro. Come here. Don't even make no sense. Fuck all that. That's my real friend. We're not gonna do no false shit to ruin this stream. He's a great human being. He does a lot for a lot of people. He's a man. He's a father, and we're gonna respect him. We're gonna love him. WDDG, and fuck anyone who got anything to say.
Fuck the fake narratives, my nigga. Stop the bullshit. We don't want to hear that shit, bro. That shit is fake.
Listen to R. Kelly.
And man, shout out to Aiden Ross. Like this guy is what Stephen A. Smith should have been to if that was actually his boy. And this just goes to show the loyalty of Aiden Ross, because when Aiden Ross was first blowing up, like 2020, 2021, trying to get into rap and hip hop, DDG was on stream with him, and Aiden Ross's audience loved DDG because DDG was showing Aiden actual love. He was supporting him. He brought Blueface with him. He linked him up with Blueface. He also gave him advice on how to handle situations when it was just Blueface and Aiden Ross. And now Aiden Ross is repaying that too when DDG is a live streamer. And he's out here defending his friend. He's saying he doesn't believe this. I personally don't. I don't believe. If DDG didn't put hands on Ruby Rose, and I'm going to play you guys this clip right now before we get to the next part of what Ruby Rose did to DDG.
It was around the time, I think, when people was like jumping over gates and shit like that.
So boom. So we was at DDG crib. We just in the living room playing the video game. Then out of nowhere, bro. Boom, 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 boom. RR stomp in. Don't say a word. At this time, they wasn't cool. They wasn't on speaking terms. So like she had came unannounced. She don't say nothing. She goes straight upstairs. DDG look at us like, we like, so we continue playing the game, nigga. She come downstairs. She come downstairs with some flight itineraries, the flight tickets. Just for context, I guess DDG had flew some, little yeah or whatever, some little shit out and put the thing in the trash. So she would dig through his trash and found it. So she come downstairs mad, bro. DDG not really paying attention. He playing the game. When I say, bro, she grabbed this nigga big ass chain, bro. Yeah! And threw that bitch across the living room. I looked at DDG eyes, bro. That nigga pupils was dilated, bro. That nigga saw nothing but red. When I say, bro, I'ma leave it at that. I felt it. I felt the yank. I'm like, ooh. Mind you, she did this in front of his niggas. He stand up. Ain't no telling what he was gonna do. I know DDG. That's not him. That's not his body. He would never dare do anything like that.
Yeah, right.
That look in his eyes though, it was a strong consideration. It's the way she snatched it, bro. Like his head yanked.
Right, you could hurt him.
And
You could hurt
the
him.
chain broke, and she threw that bitch. Like it's not no regular chain. It's
I know, and the DDG,
you
so
know
shit
what I'm
back.
saying?
I know.
I just remember me and B-Lou jumping up quick. Because I know every thought that was going through that nigga head at that moment, bro. We couldn't waste no time, bro. So we go grab that nigga, bro. Nah, girls be, she popping her shit, boom, boom, boom. She running to him to like, I grab her, nigga. She like fighting, like, leave me alone, get off me, nigga. Who the fuck is you? I have my chain on. She grabbed my chain. She said, if you don't leave me alone, I'm gonna break your chain. She said, who the fuck is you, nigga? I said, nigga, yank my chain off. I'm gonna show you exactly who the fuck I am.
I bet you let that
She let them
motherfucker
know.
know.
We calmed them down, right? And we turned into therapists, bro. But they was talking shit, and I'm not gonna say what they said.
Right.
That's federal. She was popping her shit, he was popping his shit. It's like they was having a who can put who down battle. You know what I'm saying? So I remember me and B-Lou just like giving like the perspective from a nigga like Ruby, nah, you know you wrong, you know what I'm saying? You can't. We on DDG side, that's our nigga. So like they talking to us like, but he did this, she did.
Oh,
This.
they made y'all mediators.
We was real therapists. They end up making up, bro.
Right there with y'all?
Yeah.
She gonna fix the chain and everything.
Yeah, she like.
Nah, she
No,
sent
she
that
went.
bread on my mom.
Yeah, she that.
Yeah, she said she sent that money. For sure.
Yeah, apologized, and it was.
This was a clip from Zia's stream where Zias was there, and they tell the story. So DDG comes back, and instead of letting this derail his momentum, he says the show must go on.
You all right? You want to sit down? On my lap?
I'm great.
Want to leave? We'll go to the studio? Mute real quick.
Show will
No? Just really quick. 3
show
seconds.
will continue.
That's fine.
Talk to me.
So that just goes to show, man, we got to give this guy credit. This guy is a content legend in this generation. He is a performer. He is a showman in terms of content. Like some people will be like, well, look, his music and shows. Like, we're talking about a showman in terms of content. He's there putting it out there, and you know he's stressed. But there were also times in the past when DDG has talked about helping maintain Hallie's golden image, like I talked about earlier, where I said, yo, she's got this golden image, and they're going to do anything to preserve it. So here's that clip from the last time, the incident where she was saying, I can't believe you put my son on social media on this Kai Cenat stream. And that's where she really messed up.
Doing really good. I've been keeping my head down, just working, waking up every day, working, dealing with this shit on the same breath. Nobody will really know. And she got this fucking golden image that I've also protected. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna keep doing that because I'm a real nigga. But this shit is foul, bro. Like, if I want to come get my son, I should be able to get my son. Plain and simple. The shit that's said to me is so, if niggas heard it it's on some leave us alone type shit. I'm like, bro, like, now I can see if I, like, no nigga in the world can tell me that I'm a deadbeat or a bad dad. No nigga in the world can ever say that to me. If my son can talk, he'll tell you my pops is the realest nigga ever. This nigga fuck with me. I wish I can be around him more. I don't get the chance to, bro. It's not cool. Like, it's like, all right, like I have never took my son out of the state before. Never been able to. I don't have permission. Like, it's like I have a fucking second mom. Like, I gotta ask my second mom, hey, can I take my son? Can I take our son somewhere? But if she want to get up and leave the country and leave the state, I get no say so whatsoever. I can't say one word because she tell me that she the primary parent. Like, it's like, bro, the shit not cool, bro.
So here he's saying he's helping preserve that image. And the problem when she bit off more than she could chew in that situation. Kai Cenat is beloved. He's got more of a Disney image than you. Well, not more of a Disney image, but he's got more of a favorable image amongst the populace than you do. And he's more he's got a stronger connection. I wouldn't say he's more famous, like widely famous, because she is. And DDG and his baby, people are like, yo, I don't see anything wrong with this situation. So that really backfired on her. But he's saying that he helped assist, DDG in this case, her preserving this image. But now this derails DDG's momentum because this is going to be something that's stressing him, that's on his mind, that people are constantly asking him to talk about. And his career now is that he has to stream all the time. So you can't, if it's a YouTube video, you can kind of dodge it, just not reply to comments. You don't have to address them in real time. People are asking you about this in real time. Now, DDG does have the audience that's defending him, and a ton of these streamers are like, I think she's severely underestimating the stream audience. I think Rock Nation is as well. These guys weaponized autism. Hey, if you know where that term came from. Some OG IRL streaming stuff. They're going to tear through everything and like upside down if she told any type of lie. And I don't think she told a lie. I just think she's not telling the whole truth, which is that she was probably putting hands on this guy. And Deshae Frost, a close friend of DDG's, also an odd streamer in his own right. He says that she was putting hands on DDG during their relationship.
Crazy, bro. DD has always held his tongue the whole time. Bro, they've been through so much shit, bro. Real shit. Real shit. Nigga. Diddy used to tell me, nigga, she used to smack the shit out of him on the bed. He chilling. She smacking the shit out of him. Real shit. Bow. He was sitting in his bed. Bow. Like, real shit. That's what I'm saying, bro. Real shit. Like, I'm saying, bro. Like, I'm just saying, bro. Like, he not gonna talk or whatever the fuck he wanna say. Whatever, bro. He can say whatever he wanna, or you're not gonna say. But I'm not gonna let people think that my dog is some fucking abuser or some shit, bro. Hell nah. Hell nah. I'm not gonna let no people think my dog an abuser or some shit, bro. Nigga is not no fucking abuser. This nigga do not be putting his hands on women or trying to do that type of shit, bro. Bro. Never.
Hearing this story, you're probably like, man, that's impossible. There's no way. I believe it. And the problem here is DDG, his life is going to be absolute hell. And the reason why it's going to be hell is because of how much he loves his son. If DDG did not love his son and was like, all right, you want to keep playing that game? Screw you and that little runt. no disrespect. I'm just talking hypothetically, right? Of a deadbeat. He's like, screw y'all. She would not have any power over him anymore. Because it's clear, and I think this may bother her, that he doesn't want her. He's not pining for her. He's not like, I want you back. I want us together. He's like, okay, like this is a toxic situation. We cannot be together, but like, I want to deal with my son. If he said screw them, she would probably be the one that's trying to get in his life because now she has no power over him. And this kid, it's so unfortunate. He's being used as a tool against DDG. So the only way DDG wins is to not care about his kid. But how does he not care or love his kid? So he's just screwed in this sense. And his biggest weakness is how much he loves his kid, how much he wants to be in his kid's life, and how great of a father he is. And imagine that being used to ruin you. So what I'm saying is that Halle Bailey's image has not been too hot the past couple of months. So what are we going to do if we're her PR team? Well, we got to throw DDG under the bus. We got to make him look like an abuser. And I think this is a concentrated effort or a concerted effort, whatever the vocabulary is for that. I'm a little tweaked out. I haven't had water. I haven't had breakfast. But I don't eat breakfast in the morning. This is early in the morning while I'm recording this. You got to get up and get it early. Shout out to all of y'all that be getting up early, 5, 6, 7 a.m. boys. So them turning this into DDG, it helps her image because now she's being positioned as, oh, she was getting beat. She's just like trying to raise her kid. He's this big, bad, evil wolf. Similar thing they did with Tory Lanez, although Tory Lanez is a bit of he is a tough guy, but a tough guy image, I guess you could say. DDG is more like playful. So they concentrate that on him, bad press on DDG if this works, and then that lifts Halle Bailey back into this Disney princess, which is what they want her to be. But her personality doesn't line up with it from what we're able to gather, just from the behaviors, just from a couple of things that we've seen here and there. And I'm hoping that DDG is able to push through this. This doesn't have any bearing, I believe, on the parenting. It just makes it more difficult. So now there needs to be a third party every single time. And this is where this is so anti-family. And I feel for DDG, man. Now there needs to be a third party that goes to get the kid every time from Halle to give it to DDG because he can't be within 100 feet of her. Do you see how ridiculous this is? You're introducing a third party every time. So it just makes it more difficult or more of a nuisance for DDG to see his kid. And you know she's going to try to do whatever she can because if this actually escalates the way that it does, and I think there's more information out there that we don't even know about that she's going to drop later, and she tries to take the kid away from this guy and basically almost give him no visitation. I don't know how she'd manage that. It will be very, very sad. And I think this is like actually heartbreaking for DDG. I genuinely don't believe that this guy's putting hands on chicks. DDG, not only is he a smart guy in terms of social media, he knows he's been lit for a long time. And he knew he was with a Disney star. And he knows whatever he does will get to the public. So him putting hands on a chick, I think he's too smart to do that. I think this was not a self-defense situation, but I think this was a situation where DDG was just like trying to hold her back. And he didn't want to just run away like some Jonathan Majors situation, if you guys remember, like him running down the street. Shout out to him for that. That's really the right move, as funny as it looks. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one.